What's up, y'all? Today is Thursday. Today's Thursday, January 15th. Guys, we need to go over why it's so important to take a trade with conviction, like general conviction and conviction in your model. Right? My loss today, it was conviction only in my model I completely disregarded my general conviction. And so, man, let's just hop right into it. And yeah, we'll go top down. So starting up on the hourly time frame, here's kind of what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that we just took this low right to our left, this high time frame 4 hour low. We took that low yesterday, and then look, overnight we're just rallying. We're rallying really high up, and we take this buy side liquidity at like 8:22 in the morning, so 8 minutes before market open for me. And overnight we pumped 532 points. We pumped 532 points. And so going into market open, I was already kind of checked out, because in my head it's like, okay, we're at the top of this bullish move, right? We're at the top. Like we have not put in any price action other than the straight bullishness for like the past 18 hours. We just been shooting up, and going into market open, we're still at the top. We still haven't done anything yet. And so there's two possibilities here that I was running through, and I haven't written down. It's we either pump through that high and go to the next one up there, or we rebalance the range. Right after taking that buy side liquidity on the early time frame, we now rebalance the range. I know on here it has two extra candlesticks. That's like 2 hours after. That's 9 and 10 o'clock. So for me, I'm looking at it, and we just took I'm watching it in pre-market take that high. So we're at the very top of this whole huge 532 point bullish move. And so there's a problem for that execution wise. Execution wise, we're at the top of this range, right? So we're at the top of a bullish range, the tippy top, and we're super deep in premium of the bearish range. So I have no idea what price wants to do, right? I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna assume price wants to like go lower. Since we took buy side liquidity, I can't really be like, whoa, I want to see us run through this high. I don't know what we're gonna do. Highs and lows shows what the market wants to do. I have no idea what the market wants to do. We just took the high. So I don't know if we're gonna want to run through it or if we're gonna want to rebalance the range. And so there's already kind of a problem there for me, which is not a great start to the day. But yeah, so keep that in mind. Whenever we have these huge moves overnight and we're sitting at the top or the bottom of it, just be patient. Just be patient and wait, because it's probably going to be a day like today. And I've seen this happen tens of times. And man, I still got cooked up in it. So going out of the 15-minute time frame, here's kind of what I'm looking at, right? Just took buy side. Again, we're at the top of this range. You can see now, this is 15 minutes before market open. So this is the candle right before market open. And you can see we're at the top of this range. We have not shown any bearish price action yet. We haven't shown even any want to continue through it. We have sell side liquidity resting here, a 1 hour fair value gap. This 15-minute fair value gap, that's just a possible place for price to kind of target, right? I can't really take anything on the 15-minute. I can't really gauge what we want to do here on the 15-minute. Even right at market open, as I typed here, says even right at market open, there's still no clear direction. Exactly. That's always a red flag. Always a red flag. If you cannot gauge where price wants to go because there's no price action, then it's red flag, man. Be careful. Red flag. All right, going down to the 1 minute. This was price. So price opens, right? Price opens right where the S&T is. You see at the top. That's 8:30. So 8:30, boom. First thing we do is we come down and we take this 5-minute sell side liquidity. Okay. So at this point, I'm hands off. I'm sitting back in my chair. Like I'm just watching. I'm not taking nothing. I'm not even thinking about taking anything. We come down, we take this 5 minutes. So I'm like, okay, let's see what we want to do, right? I really don't. My model presented itself, quote unquote, right? We took sell side liquidity, disrespected the fair value gap. But in my brain, I didn't want to take that because it would have just been a 1-to-1, or it would have been like a 1 to point, like a 0.9 trade, like, or a 0.8 trade, So, because I would have had to target just that buy side liquidity up there, because I don't know if we're gonna keep running. We haven't got any high time frame rebalance yet, so didn't take it there, right? I just watched, sat, was patient. Second thing we did after taking that low is we kept it when we took that high. We SMT'd with ES. We took that high up there. And something I recognized in the moment was, okay, this is high time frame manipulation, right? We just took high time frame buy side liquidity, came down, took a 5-minute low, and then came back up to that same high that just took that hourly liquidity up there. So I recognize that. I'm saying, okay, this is high time frame manipulation. This is really, really, really bearish, especially what happens afterwards, right? We come up, take high time frame buy side liquidity, manipulate the buy side liquidity, and then we disrespect this 1 minute fair value gap. That is super bearish. Super, super, super bearish. But look at how freaking gigantic of a candle this is. So in my head, the reason I didn't take this was because if I would have took it here, I would have had to move to break even at that low where it says SSL. I would have had to move to break even there. And I know I'm going to get stopped break even. Like, there's not even a point in taking the trade. Because either I would have to just get stopped out and there'd be no point, or I'd have to hold it and risk us taking that and turning around. And that's against my model. So even here, we've had two opportunities. I've had a bullish opportunity that I wouldn't take because I know I would have got stopped break even, or it would have been a bad risk to reward. And then the second bearish one where, again, either I'm getting stopped break even or I'm going to get stopped out. Or you know, we displaced real bad, but I did not care to risk it. I was just going to watch it and just let it do its thing. You know what I'm saying? And at this time, again, they even wrote it here. I'm thinking, like, in this time, after we took that high, SMT displaced with the fair value gap. Displaced. That's the word I was trying to think of earlier. Displaced with the fair value gap. I knew this was bearish. I knew it was bearish. I kept zooming in and out, and I saw that we needed to rebalance. We needed to rebalance on a higher time frame. I'm thinking we need to at least hit that 1 hour fair value gap. We didn't actually hit it today. We just took the low. But I'm thinking, we need to at least hit that 1 hour fair value gap. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need a higher time frame rebalance. And this is where my mistake was, okay? So, boom, took the high, displaced, didn't take the trade. I'm waiting. Look what happens. This is why I didn't take the trade, because I already knew this was going to happen. It takes sell side liquidity, okay? And then we displace the 1 minute fair value gap. Now, according to my model, that is my trade. Liquidity sweep, displacement. That is my trade. Technically, if my general conviction was to see higher prices, I'm supposed to take that every single time. Regardless of how I feel, regardless if I'm scared, I push the button every single time. Here was my mistake. My general conviction was for lower prices. I had conviction in my model. I know my model works. I have like an 80% win rate on my model. This month at least. Well, it's probably like 66% or something crazy like that now after today. But I have conviction in my model. I know my model works. I know it works. And so in my head, I'm thinking, okay, we took sell side liquidity. We disrespected this bearish fair value gap. We have these highs up here. I mistook my conviction for emotions, meaning this. As a trader, right, we're not supposed to be all emotional. We're supposed to be logical thinkers. We're supposed to think off of data. We're supposed to think off of what the market is showing us and telling us, and not like, oh, you know, I really hope it goes up so I can make some money today, right? Not none of that thinking, or, oh, I'm scared I'm going to lose money. We're supposed to just be like, hey, the market is showing me this. My model is there. I pushed the button. Here's what I did. I said, I think we're going to go lower, but the market is kind of showing me it wants to go higher. So even though I think it's going to go lower, I'm going to push the button anyway. That's wrong. That is wrong. That is wrong. And we're going to go over that in a second. But yeah, so I'm thinking my general conviction is to see lower prices, but I'm ignoring that because a bullish model showed up. See how that's kind of stupid? High time frame is like, yo, we got to go lower. Low time frame, a bullish model shows up on the 1 minute. That doesn't make sense. There's no drawn liquidity to the upside at this moment. There's not, right? Huge mistakes. Feelings and conviction are two different things. There's a thin line, but there's two different things. And we'll kind of cover that here in a second. So as you can guess, bam, I take the trade, right? I take the trade, and dude, I get stopped out in like 4 minutes. Real quick. And so here's how I want to separate feelings and conviction. Feelings in trading are FOMO, anxiety, identity attachment, greed, right? All these things that are like that push you to make an illogical decision. Okay? All these things that push you to make an illogical decision. Conviction is logic and reasoning. What is the market saying to me? What is the market telling me it wants to do? That is conviction. And so here's where I messed up. The market is telling me I want to go down. I want to go lower than this. Who cares if the bullish model showed up? I want to go lower than this. I want to keep going lower. And that was logical, right? We manipulate the leg that takes high time frame buy side liquidity, and we displace bullish price action. That is showing me, hey, I want to go down. We have not gotten a deep enough dig to the downside. I want to go lower. And I chose to disregard that for my feelings, for greed. And I chose to take the trade anyway because I had conviction in my model. Is that making sense? And so we don't trade off of our feelings. Just because you want or you feel something is different from logical reasoning. I had a logical reason to assume price was going to go lower. I disregarded that. That's why in the last video, or 2 videos from this one, there's an equation. General conviction plus your model. Today was just the model, right? Today was just the model, which is why I failed. And so, yeah, so my mistake for today was, like I just said, I didn't follow the equation. I did not follow general conviction plus conviction in my model. Today was just conviction in my model. I had the conviction solely in my model, even though my general conviction was to see lower prices. That was what the market was showing us today. And I just went over that. And honestly, when you look at it without any drawings and you just kind of look at what price did, man, today was a no trade day. Today was a no trade day. If I was not greedy, if I wasn't so focused on, getting a trade, today would have been a no trade day. The only trade that could have been was around this 945 area, right? We turtle soup, displace that fair value gap, and then, yeah, you could have targeted sell side liquidity. But when you really look at it in the grand scheme, that's the only trade today. And I was gonna talk about how today was a no trade day. That's a pretty fire trade. That's a pretty good trade right there. If you would have took that at 9, probably like 43, 44, that would have been a good trade right there to the short side. But I usually don't stay on the charts that long. So for me, it probably would have still been a no trade day. Look at the 5 minute. Look at how inefficient that is. There's no gaps. No gaps. There's literally one gap and it got ran. You know what I'm saying? There's one bearish gap, it got ran, and then we went lower. You feel me? And then there's another one over here at 945. That's the trade I was talking about right there. And so, yeah, man, today was a goofy day. What I want to cover is general conviction plus conviction in your model, okay? That is bread and butter. I feel like people talk about, traders talking about, there's not really a moment that it clicks. There's not really a moment that it clicks. You just get it over time. Yo, I'm telling you, if you get your convictions right, if you get daily bias right, and you understand, okay, price is showing us today that we want to go down. In fact, I'll do a video on that soon, daily bias, so that we can begin to develop correct convictions, right? General conviction plus your model, and I'll go over my model too. I might just do a dummy course one day and we just go over everything. But if you get that equation locked down, you do not press the button until you have considered your general conviction and you've considered if the model has showed up. You are gonna bank if you only push the button off of once those 2 things are there, right? If it's just your model, don't push it. If it's just conviction, don't push it. But it's both. That equals a pushed button. General conviction plus conviction in your model equals a pushed button. It better equal a push button, or you did your math wrong. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, y'all, that's really all today. I just want to go over that loss because I feel like that was a pretty fruitful loss in the sense where we can learn some. And so, yeah, dog. That is that. This is this, man. Christ is Lord. Hey, Christ is Lord, man. Just got my 3rd payout, man. Hopefully we can keep cooking. I've only lost two times this month. Hopefully I don't keep losing, But yeah, y'all. This is this, that is that. Once again, Jesus Christ is God, And I'll see y'all boys later. Deuces.